Good morning, everybody. It's John from Veganism KILLS. It's 11:35 a.m. Sunday, March 6th. Now, today I'm going to do a little special request from Timothy on a comment that was made on Happy Unhealthy Vegans channel by Jonah Whale. Jonah Whale made a comment, so their hate goes even deeper than just us taking their beef burgers away. For some reason, vegans have equated hate, that SJW term that they throw around all over the place, with eating meat. It has nothing to do with the actual course of events of surviving and having proper nutrition. Nah, has nothing to do with that. Which, of course, we're going to do. No, you're not. Because, first of all, people are going to actually want to buy your product that you're saying everybody will be eating in 10 years. And the first 2 years of this decade, we're all supposed to be eating Impossible Burgers or Fox meat. Well, it's been a total disaster for the fake meat industry. You'll more than likely see Ryan get elected to office in the Long Beach City Council before you'll see everybody eating Impossible Burgers by vegan force. I just wanted you to know, Ryan has been running for city council in Long Beach, where he lives, for over a decade. And the most votes Ryan was able to muster out of 20,000 people in the community was 200. I actually do believe a child molester actually was able to pull more votes than Ryan. Now back to Timothy. Now, Timothy, you'll see that they're equating eating meat with hate because their mind is imbalanced. You understand? If your children are hungry and there's a chicken in front of you, what do? What normal people do? They eat the chicken. Why? Because the parent loves their children and wants to keep them adequately fed. Doesn't want them to die. But vegans seem to have no problem with letting children die for their ideology. And you can go see that all over the CDC, because the CDC is all over them right now. The FDA has started pulling these 100% nutritious vegan baby formulas off the shelf because they aren't what they claim to be, like most vegans. Now, for everybody to be on Impossible Burgers by the end of the decade, people will actually have to buy them by the end of the decade. Impossible Burgers came out 2018. So they've been out for 4 years, so the decade's going to end in about 6 years. Let's see what's happening. Burger King franchises say Impossible Whopper sales are slow. This is in 2020, 2 years after the launch of this fake Fox meat product, the Franken meat. So you could see sales declined after they came out of the gate. They fell flat on their face, and the sales still continue to go down. Now, Impossible Foods is not public, and the reason why is because the company owners know what model that this is going to follow if they ever went public and offered an IPO. And the example of that is Beyond Meat, which came out about 2019, headed up to $240, and now it's heading down below $40. Why is that? Well, I'll explain that to you. And Impossible Foods is actually suffering the same problem as Beyond Meat. What happens if there's no demand for your product and it sits on the shelf taking up space? The supermarket chain that's selling this stuff is going to say, you know what? We don't want your product on your shelf anymore because it's not selling. We'd rather reserve that shelf space for a product that will sell. And that product is not yours. So what did Impossible Food do? They lowered the prices by 20%. And still, Nobody's buying the product. Here goes a cold dose of reality. This is the shelf during the pandemic, and this is the vegan fake meat. This is the real meat. Notice which one has been left untouched. Now I want you to see what all the butthurt vegans are saying. All the more for me, I'm not fussed. Some of it tastes great. I have that more than meat. I love the plant. I don't know what the hell the word that is. Plant-based sausage rolls and patties and nuggets. Obviously, Skunky has a problem with grammar. Helen Post, maybe vegans are just intelligent enough to realize they don't need to panic buy. If vegans were intelligent, they wouldn't be buying a product that's missing 20 vital nutrients. And they would address it by eating food where you don't have to take supplements in order to remain healthy. It's garbage food. This vegan meat and the vegan diet is just another form of using natural food as garbage food. Look at Megan. If you think this pitch is really from current events, I have an island to sell you. Well, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. Megan. What, does it bother you that nobody's buying into the ideology from your echo chamber? That the real world is rejecting the nonsense that spouts out of vegans' mouths? Josie's a little bit of more of a realist. That food gives you loose bowels. I have the same shelf in my supermarket and nobody's buying anything. Sooner or later, what happens when you have a product taking up shelf space in your store that doesn't sell? It's not helping you generating a profit by just sitting there and rotting. You take it off the shelf. You say, take your vegan food and throw it in the garbage. I'm going to put something there that sells, like real meat. So this over-belovating vegan over here who says they're going to do this and that, they're not going to do nothing. You'll have a better chance of seeing Ryan hold public office before you see people eating nothing but Impossible burgers instead of meat. It's just a vegan virtual signaling statement where they're all doing jazz hands. Woo! After he said it. They're all out of their minds. They crack me up. And eventually what's going to happen if kids keep going to the hospital and the CDC keeps writing reports about it because the doctors report to the CDC, and it keeps happening over 20 years. I have a video that shows you that it's still consistently happening. Sooner or later, karma's coming. And then they could talk about the hate, how they hate regular people for eating meat because they don't want to see their kids get sick and end up in the hospital as a statistic on the CDC report. Don't listen to these vegans. They're nothing. They're worthless. They're the epitome of Darwinism at work. They'll be gone soon. And on that note, I'm out of here.